Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Ashley, your Southern lesbian, I reckon. It is so nice to be back here with y'all, and we're approaching the holidays. Don't worry, there's going to be some fun TikTok content coming for you guys for the holidays. Just get ready. It's so stupid. Anyway, here we are. Thanksgiving is upon a lot of you in the States, and for those who celebrate, we need to talk. How are y'all doing out there? How's everybody doing? I know we've been talking about dating for a while. This podcast is very lesbianic, obviously, because I'm a lesbian, but I feel like we've been talking about dating a lot, but we don't always have to talk about dating. I mean, today's going to kind of be more of that in relationships and family. When I talk about relationship stuff, y'all, this can extend to your family. This can extend to people you work with sometimes. It doesn't always have to be about romance. It just so seems that a lot of the people that have been following have been asking specific things about dating, and Lord knows I've been around long enough to have tried a thing or two, so I just figured I'd share what I learned. So I'm going to start something new on this podcast that I thought might be interesting, and I'm hoping that y'all will dig this as well. I love good quotes, and I have collected quotes over the years of things that just really touched me and inspired me, and I thought it would be fun to start sort of using some of these quotes as jumping off points for us to discuss different topics. And it's, again, just things that have spoken to me. Y'all might see quotes about French fries, I don't know, that inspire you. Y'all, I don't know. These are just things that speak to me, so if it resonates, stick around. So today's topic is the art of letting someone in. And I did find a quote that I think is really fitting. It gets deep, but I love it. Y'all, I'm going to have to read this because I'm going to screw it up. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you've built against it. Rumi. Way to go, Rumi. So when I was working with a life coach for many years, this is something that I learned and I found fascinating, is that truly our work, if we want to be better in relationships, if we want to learn how to trust, if we want to learn how to let someone in, our work really is to undo a lot of the conditioning that we've had growing up, right? Have y'all ever seen that crumpled piece of paper test? Ooh, I just thought of that. I'm going to show y'all that. Hold on. So I am not the first person to show y'all this. I've seen it going around viral on the internet again recently too, but the first time I saw this was several years ago by a guy named Coop Blackson, who did it in one of his seminars or whatever that I went to, and he was great, and it really stuck with me. So I thought it might be a good visual representation for you guys right now. Here we have this beautiful white sheet of paper, right? This white sheet of paper represents you coming into the world. Look at you, you beautiful little clean baby you. Everything is perfect. No stains, no tatters, no tears, anything. And then life starts coming at you, right? So let's say that the first things that hit you in life probably are going to be your parents, right? Let's say you get to a certain age and maybe a parent or someone around you points out that you're not really great at something. So maybe you shouldn't do that. Then you go a little bit further through life and maybe somebody at school says they don't like you. Then you get a little bit older and you start entering relationships where maybe somebody cheats on you. Then you're stuck in a rut and you can't really figure out how to get out of those patterns, and you just continue them and continue them and continue them and continue them. If I could stomp on it in front of you, I would. All right, so what we have here now, this now represents you. You can unfold yourself, you can pick yourself up, you can walk back out into the world, you can do all kind of work on yourself, right? But this piece of paper, aka you're never going to be the same after going through these experiences, right? There are different things. Maybe it was a loss of someone you loved. It's just hard things in life that have hit you, that have shaped you as who you are. Here you are now. And the best I feel like we can do is learn to live with this, learn to live with these imperfections and unfold this paper, aka ourselves, to get back to as close to harmony as we can. Maybe that's a dumb analogy for y'all. I don't know. It really hit me. So these barriers that we put up, I had no idea, y'all. I just thought it was all the other person. Well, I didn't think it was all the other person because obviously I was bringing something to the table in these relationships which just weren't working. So I had to take a look at that at some point, and it's not comfortable and it's not for the faint of heart. And if y'all are willing to do this work on yourselves, I gotta hand it to you. You are a brave, brave individual because it's scary. It's scary because it's all you've ever known, right? It's what maybe your parents taught you. It's conditioning that you've heard throughout your life over the years of this is the lane you need to stay in that's always going to keep you safe. Maybe you need to keep control over this person because you keep the upper hand that way because you don't get hurt. Ever heard that one before? Maybe you shouldn't try certain things that you really enjoy because somebody laughed at you or somebody told you you weren't good at them. Like, for example, when I was a kid, God, I love to sing. I still love to sing. Now, I recognize, y'all, that I don't have the tone of freaking Whitney Houston or Adele or whoever, or less, I mean, not the chops either, but it's just fun to sing, right? Who doesn't love to sing? But when I was a kid, my mom used to really tell me that my voice didn't sound good. And she had just gone through a divorce with my dad, and she would pretty much say my voice sounded like my dad's, which my dad sang. Whatever. She was just, as a kid, I didn't realize she was just, being a bit cranky. But now as an adult, I look back and I'm like, oh, who cares? I want to sing, not in karaoke, not out loud. Y'all don't have to hear it. It's just fun. I just like to do it. So thank God I didn't listen to her. Thank God I carried on and enjoyed music. Actually ended up working in it for a while, not as a singer. But you get my point, right? I did other things, but it was really fun to me, and it was a passion that I'm so grateful that I didn't listen to her on that front. So I encourage you to start digging deep right now, okay? So I've come up with a list of questions here. I've also, not only do I collect quotes, y'all, but I collect journal prompts, okay? So just get ready. I don't know why. I'm weird like that, okay? I love to go back through these questions over the years and revisit them and just see how I'm doing, see if I've really grown, see what kind of progress I've made on myself. So I put together some for this episode that I thought would be fun to share with y'all, and just some things for y'all to think about if any of this resonates with you. If you have been struggling to connect in relationships and for some reason you're like, I always get hurt. They always cheat on me. I'm always left. Something negative always happens, right? That was me. That was me, y'all. I get it. I get it. So this is where the work comes in, because if we do attract with where we are and we expect what we believe, then what does that say about what we've contributed to those relationships, right? So in the past, I believed that my hot girlfriend was going to cheat on me. And guess what? She always did. But what you don't understand is when you're carrying that energy around and you're looking for signs of things to happen, you're sort of reacting to your partner as if. Do you know what I mean? Is this making sense to y'all? So what we want to do is we want to live in the vibration of, she loves me. Everything's great. Everything's fine. I don't need to worry. I'm so grateful to have this wonderful person in my life. Isn't she beautiful? That sort of thing, Or if you always get hurt somehow, or if somebody is controlling of you. Have you ever been with somebody that's really controlling? Now, I've been on both sides of this. I have been the controller and I have been controlled, and neither is fun. But you really do get what you expect. If you walk in thinking that someone's going to kind of try to, put their claws in you, then I feel like you're going to shrink a little bit automatically, and that's going to happen because the energy just kind of goes this way naturally. You got to, again, learn to keep it right here as best as possible, right? Or you're going to rebel. They're going to say, what in the hell is wrong with you? You're going to feel like you did something wrong. We got to learn how to communicate better. So to that point, in learning how to communicate better, how do we do that? How do we do that if we're not already in a relationship? How do we practice, right? So I'm going to encourage y'all to do it with the people you work with. I did that. I didn't tell them, y'all, but I worked with 2 women at the time where I started doing this work, and my life coach told me to practice on them, so I did. You can do this with family members if you're in a household where you have family members, or friends. You can do it with your friends. All right, so let's get into this, okay? Number 1 is, what boundaries do I need to set in order to come from a place of fullness and not depletion? So if you're in a relationship already, be it, again, work, romantic, family, whatever it is, do you find that you're overgiving, or somebody's not carrying their share of the load? Are you feeling depleted? in this? What boundaries can you set? Now, this does mean y'all have to open your mouths. I'm just saying, you're gonna have to talk to this person. Okay, you cannot just passive aggressively, which I did for a long time too, counteract their behavior in ways that you think, oh, well, if they don't figure it out, then they don't love me, or how could he not realize, or how could she not know that this is what I mean? No, y'all. We are going to learn to start to be brave in our communication. So you're going to speak up to this person and you're going to say, hey, listen, I know this might be coming out of left field, but I just need to bring to your attention that when you do X, it makes me feel Y. Are they putting too much of the housework on you maybe? Hey, I just want to let you know that I'm starting to feel a little bit resentful because I'm feeling like all of this load is on me. I don't want to feel resentful of you. I want to feel close to you. I want us to be good. I know you're really busy too, but can we discuss maybe some sort of balance in this chore so that I don't feel this way? Because it doesn't feel good. Now, if your partner meets you and says, oh my God, babe, of course, I don't want to, of course, let's talk about it. I would never want you to feel that way. Then you got yourself a good one. Chances are, because all of us, we're where we are and we haven't grown up with parents, some of us, who have taught us these types of communication skills. You might get somebody who says, what do you mean? I do blah, 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 and how dare you? And how dare you say you're resentful? I'm resentful. That's kind of what I'm expected to come up. That's what I dealt with. If that's the case, you've got to determine, is this person someone that you feel like you can express your needs to? Because if they're not, y'all, it's time to start taking stock. I'm sorry, but we're in a place in our lives now where life's too short, the years left, or the years we have left, we want them to be good, we want them to be peaceful, full of love, support from a partner who hears us. I'm not saying walk right out the door, but I'm saying give this person, some opportunity to meet you where you are. And if they don't, you might need some therapy, Are they open to growth? Hopefully y'all are with partners that at least are open to growing and evolving with you. Because isn't that the point of a relationship? Don't we want to be able to grow and evolve together and be able to talk through things? I think that's the whole point. The point of setting these boundaries in place is to protect your energy, because you need to come from a full cup. If you're constantly running around exhausted and stressed and mentally depleted, how can you really give of your true self, your full energy of who you are? How's that partner really going to see who you are? All right, next. Number 2, how can I balance boldness with my need for collaboration and support? That's a tricky one for me too, y'all, because some of us, we enjoy being bold. And we're a little outspoken sometimes, but we also need support. I'm sure a lot of y'all are like this too. I can be so strong and so bold and talk the talk, but then when it comes down to it, sometimes I'm scared. Sometimes I do want a partner who just holds me and who can talk me through things. Now, how are they going to know if I'm always yakety yak, being bold up in their face about everything and telling them I've got it, I don't need help? Well, they're not gonna. And they're probably not gonna offer help to me because I'm making it seem like I can carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. I can't, y'all. You can't either, by the way. All right, so there's a lot of us who feel like, I was very guilty of this for a long time, we can do it better. There, I said it. I like to feel like I do things very well. I can clean really well. I like to order in my house. Sometimes a partner will come in and be a little chaotic. And so rather than asking her, hey, babe, can you please clean that up when you're done? I just do it because sometimes I feel like it's just not worth the fight. And that's fine if you're okay with that and if that partnership balances out in enough other ways that you're not resentful. But if you start becoming resentful because you're doing too much stuff like this where you're cleaning up after them or picking up more of the load than should be yours, or you've got a lot on your plate and you just need someone to talk to. You can't always be Wonder Woman in every scenario. You have to let somebody in, and the way, again, we open ourselves up to letting someone in is by sharing that load with them. And sometimes that means instead of taking it all on yourself, just stop and think a minute. If you were looking at your partner who was doing this and you could see that she's carrying so much, and she's exhausted and she can't handle it all. And you know that, right? I mean, sometimes it's obvious. Wouldn't you want to help? Wouldn't it feel good to you to be able to say, babe, let me make you dinner tonight. Please let me just do that for you. Or whatever it is. You know, you want to contribute. You want to feel like you're in this together. So when you withhold speaking up in the same way to your partner and asking for help, see how you're kind of robbing them of that opportunity? You're robbing yourself of letting them in, and you're robbing them of the opportunity to step up and do something really nice for you. Just saying, something to think about. Number 3, how do I typically respond to emotional turbulence? And how can I nurture myself better during these times? Damn it, y'all. Well, again, speaking for myself and what I've been through, just because I feel like sharing some of my stuff will make y'all feel less alone, like you're not as crazy, well, you might be, because I do consider myself sometimes. So how I respond in emotional turbulence is usually fighting back. It's usually putting up barriers. It's usually deflection. Let's just think of what an example of that emotional turbulence could be. It could be any number of things, right? But when they say turbulence, okay, I'm picturing our emotions are going up and down like that, right? Like a plane. So to me, that means it could mean insecurities. We can talk about that. So let's pretend like maybe you think your partner's pulling away from you. How do you respond during those times? For me, I've gotten better at this, but in the past, I know that I would get anxious. My thoughts would just ruminate. Like, I know if I catch myself ruminating, that's not coming from a loving place. That's not coming from a trusting place, right? Ruminating and letting your thoughts spin like that is only fear. All freaking day long, no matter what the topic is, it's fear. So if you catch yourself in that spin cycle, right, of those same scary thoughts going again and again and again, just start to recognize it and try to stop it and go catch yourself and just say, Ashley, that is just not who she is. Like, that is just calm the F down. It's going to be all right. Because if you allow some time to pass, throughout the day, next couple of days, whatever, chances are it's probably fine. And if it's not, we also need to know, as we talked about in previous episodes, that we are strong enough to handle whatever comes our way. And at the end of the day, you cannot control, and I cannot control what my partner's doing, nor do we want to. We want them to be their wild, beautiful, fullest self, because that's what makes you love them, right? Number 4, how can I regulate my nervous system to stay balanced and clear-headed? Well, for me now, I've learned that meditation is an excellent practice, and I have to do it every day. I feel the difference if I don't meditate every day. And if y'all need help with that, there's a variety of apps that are really good. I use one called... There's also the Calm app. You don't have to do it with an app. You can just sit, if you know how to meditate, and just sit on your own and do that. But I find that some beginners can't quite get there yet with letting go of their thoughts. So again, for those of y'all who aren't aware and aren't familiar with meditating, all it is, y'all, is just letting go of your thoughts. And when they swoop back in, you let them go again. It's trying the best you can to just sit there. When a thought comes in that's spinning in your brain, sweep it away. Think of nothing, think of nothing, think of nothing. It's harder than you think it is. But what happens is you start to practice doing this, and when you do it every day, it gets easier when those thoughts pop up during your day. If something pops in that's all of a sudden like trying to attack you out of left field, you're like, wait a minute, you don't belong there. Shoo fly, get out of here. You're not welcome here. Just saying. So if you've never tried that, I would say start there. It's really, really great for a lot of reasons. Another way to regulate your nervous system is exercise. Now, I know we're getting to a certain age. Some of y'all don't want to talk about it. It's like, Ashley, leave me alone. I want my ho-hos. I want to sit here with my feet up and watch my shows. That's how I unwind. I want a glass of wine. That's how I unwind. Well, you can do that. I did that for a long time. I won't say it's the healthiest thing I ever did, and it didn't bring me to the healthiest place in my life. Exercising, good exercise where you're actually getting your heart rate up, actually gets adrenaline off your heart. It burns through that adrenaline, and that's why it's good for you. Some people do walking meditations too, where you literally just walk and you sort of try to stay in gratitude. And you look around and you're like, God, that tree's beautiful. Oh my God, the temperature is pretty perfect today. I'm all bundled up and it feels nice, and I'm grateful it's not hot. I'm grateful it's not raining on me, or if it's raining, wow, we hadn't had rain in a while. This is really good for the earth. I know this is great. We're going to have a really beautiful spring if we keep getting rain like this. Look at that cute dog over there. Oh my God, look at that couple over there walking. Aren't they cute? You just got to train your mind to look for the good in things. So the more you do this, the more you practice these things, the more it really does work, y'all. So if you're a person who's prone to having these negative thoughts, who's prone to things going bad in a relationship, this is really powerful. These are great tools that you can apply very easily, free. You don't need a therapist to do this. Just go for a walk, practice this, and do it every freaking day. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Number 5, how am I allowing space for authenticity in my relationships? Okay, so do you allow space for authenticity? I guess I should say. This is something that took practice for me. I felt like I had a handful of people I could be authentic with who were my close friends. But for some reason, y'all, with partners, and I'm going to ask y'all something. This is something that I noticed too. For those of y'all who have ever been a bisexual, as I identified years ago, I dated men and women. I noticed that I held the men to a certain standard where I had these authentic conversations. This is what I want in life, and if you don't measure up to it, you're out. You know what I mean? For the women, I didn't do the same, y'all. Why is that? I don't know. The women were so much more intimidating, and I think I was so excited just to have that closeness with another woman that I let them get away with a lot, y'all. They're cute, and I knew it, and they got away with a lot. So how do we allow for this authenticity, right? Well, again, practice, y'all. That's all I can say is consistency. Practice, practice, practice. Have the scary conversations. Feel that fear. Do it anyway. Say the thing you got to say gently. Don't just blurt out, you fucking drive me crazy. Can't do that, y'all. It's not going to go over well. You know that. Anyway, but if there's a way that you can phrase something to your partner, and if your partner says to you often that you're too harsh, she doesn't like the way you come at her with things, I'm going to tell you a good tip. Well, I had a friend that used ChatGPT a lot of times for this. I would have never thought of that, but you can plug your thoughts into ChatGPT and say, rewrite this as an email to send to blah, 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 and make it thoughtful and direct without being harsh, blah, blah, blah. ChatGPT will rewrite this for y'all, and you can look at it just slightly reframed and go, oh, yeah, I think I can say it in this way. It's not a bad thing to use AI for these little things. It's still words coming out of your mouth. It's still thoughts that you had. But if you're not good at these conversations, I'm just saying this is a real easy cheat. Just do it. Number 6, what fears or insecurities are holding me back, and how can I overcome them? Well, I think y'all all know what your fears and insecurities are. I don't think those are hard to identify in relationships, right? I certainly knew what mine were. Mine were abandonment. I had big abandonment issues, y'all. So that was something that I worked through a lot. And I honestly, since I'm dating right now, I'm still having to work through that a little bit. It's gotten a lot better though. And all these tools that I've learned and applied certainly have helped. For me specifically, it really was working with someone, the life coach technically wasn't a therapist, nor am I, by the way, y'all know that. I'm just a lesbian who had experiences I'm sharing. Don't come at me. But a lot of it was working through in a therapy type environment where I could talk through these things and she could pull things out of me that were really uncomfortable to discuss. And a lot of it does root back to our childhood. I'm a child of divorced parents, and abandonment was a real fear and feeling for me. When that comes out of left field for you as a kid and you don't see it coming and you don't understand it, you just think the rug can be pulled out from under you at any time. So what I didn't know as a child is that there was a lot going on behind the scenes that I wasn't aware of. And as you get older, even as an adult, sometimes you may know this, but you haven't transferred that knowledge to your heart yet. It takes some work, y'all. It takes a lot of work to recognize that these people that you date aren't going to do the same thing to you that maybe your mom did, maybe your dad did. Maybe it was just another partner that you had for a long time that you were really close to that broke your trust. I don't know. Whatever your thing is, I think it's incredibly important to identify that and then seek help on it. So If you don't want to spend the money to go to a therapist, or if you can't, there are so many books out there on every topic under the sun. And what I started doing was I started with Audible, y'all. I started finding all these books that spoke to me. My life coach did recommend a lot of them, but I found a lot of them on my own too. And I would just walk every morning for an hour, and I would listen to that first thing in the morning for an hour. And it's so beautiful and so grounding to get your head in the right space for the day before you walk out into the world. So I cannot recommend that enough, as a place to start. There's other podcasts, obviously, so many podcasts and things that you can listen to. So that's just one other suggestion I have for y'all, but please do the work on that. It's very important, and you will feel so much better, because oftentimes these things that we carry with us are just thoughts we keep thinking, right? Have you ever heard that? Abraham Hicks say, a belief is a thought you just keep on thinking. And so if that's all it is, we just have to learn how to think that thought differently. Oftentimes it really is just reframing that, or removing that block, removing that barrier that's stayed in our way that we unconsciously just can't even see. Number 7, how can I embrace both independence and collaboration in my future endeavors? Well, that's also something that's very important to look at, I think there's not one of us here who doesn't want to feel free. And there's also probably not one of us here, because this is sort of a relationshipy podcast, who doesn't want collaboration with someone, be it a partner, be it a business partner, family, whatever it is, friends. So what does that look like for you? Have you ever sat and journaled it out? What does freedom look like for you? What does that mean to you? It means something different to everybody. So for me, freedom means the ability to do this. I want to be able to work on whatever I want to work on. I want to be able to create whatever I want to create without anybody telling me, Ashley, I think that's a waste of your time. Ashley, you're not making enough money on that. Whatever it is. To me, that's freedom. I want to be able to go out and see friends that I want to see. I want to be able to go for walks, go for horseback rides, whatever it is. I don't want anybody trying to take from me or make me feel guilty about those joys in life that I hold so dear. And I don't think you should do that to anybody else either, right? I don't want to. So for me, independence looks like somebody who allows me space to do those things, but collaboration also means that I want to build something with somebody, right? So I've got to be accountable. I've got to show up. I've got to put in the time on the relationship. What does that look like? Does that mean setting up a home together? Does that mean family? Those conversations are coming up now, and it's like, I have to really think about what that looks like for me. And I love that. I think that's a beautiful thing. But if you're going to do things like that, and when you get to a point where you have to make those decisions of, okay, now we're melding somebody else's world with my world, what does that collaboration look like? And how do I still keep my independence? And how does she? Different for everybody, but spend some time thinking about that. Write it out if you don't know. Sometimes just sitting and putting pen to paper, like real pen to paper, rather than typing it out. I don't know why, y'all, but something about handwriting just pulls things out of me differently, and that stream of consciousness just goes in a different way. I don't know what to say. Just try it. Number 8, what kind of opportunities am I willing to welcome into my life? Well, again, this is different for everybody, but this is the exciting stuff, right? This is the stuff that's fun to think about. What kind of opportunities? So this could be in a relationship. Are you willing to open the door to a partner? What does that look like? Are you dead set on where you live? Are you in an area that makes you happy? This comes up a lot on the TikTok. People are, throwing things up to me against some of those videos where I talk about long distance dating, and they're all like, a lot of y'all are really cute and like, yay, I'd go anywhere for the girl I love. Okay, well, that's great. We got to be realistic too. I get it. I think somewhere there in the middle is a healthy balance of if you live in a place that you're happy with and you don't want to leave, that could be a problem, a long distance relationship for you, unless that girl's ready to move, right? However, are you just being a creature of habit, and are you just scared to move? If you are sitting in an area of the world where you're not fulfilled and it's just safe and all you know, we only got one life, y'all. Well, this lifetime anyway. But you know what I'm saying. Do not waste your incarnation. I got to give credit to that. So Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith says that all the time, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to say. Do not waste your incarnation. What are you here for? What did you come to this planet for? To sit in your house by yourself where it's safe? No. I think you came here to live your best life. What does that look like? Live your best life. Sometimes you got to take some chances, right? Feel the fear and do it anyway. And have faith that you can get you through anything. And if you move somewhere and you don't like it, you'll figure it out again. And I know it could be expensive. I know. But I'm just saying, for those of y'all who have it within your means, who have been thinking about it, who are just scared, because I just get the feeling that some of y'all are in that boat. And again, we're not getting any younger, so be happy. Do the things that you got to do to make yourself happy. Please, just think about it. It is not easy getting out there and meeting a new community. I'm in the midst of it as we speak. Y'all know that I'm back and forth between London and the States, and London is a whole new community for me, but I love it. I love getting to meet new people. Is it scary? Yes, it's scary. Going to new events where you don't know people, or showing back up when you know that maybe there's not somebody there that you're going to date, and you got to put the time in. You just got to, if that's what you want. And you want to be happy and you want community. And it's so important, y'all, especially where we are in the world and especially in the States. We need community. We need strength in numbers. We need each other. We just do. What are you willing to welcome into your life? What opportunities are you willing to welcome in? Think about that. What do you want? What's your dream? What's your biggest life look like? What is one baby step you could take today to get there? Okay, number 9, in what areas of my life can I bring more organization and order? So I threw this one in because I feel like, and this all goes back to letting someone in, y'all. I think that if our life is chaotic, it's much harder to let somebody in a healthy way, and then we become resentful. Does that make sense? So for me, as a solo entrepreneur, I find oftentimes that I can let my schedule get tossed about because I feel like other people's stuff is more priority sometimes, or just things in life in general. This is my art, but I feel it's really important to me. But, sometimes I get the little small voice in my head that goes, well, actually, this little podcast isn't as important as doing that. And so what I've learned is that I have to work from a schedule. It helps me so much because that way I block off my time and I protect my time. And when somebody comes at me and says, hey, I need you to help me X, Y, and Z today, I'll go, sorry, I can't today, I'm recording, or sorry, I can't today, I'm editing, whatever. And sometimes they'll look at me and go, oh, the podcast, well, screw you. This is my priority. And I'm not talking about a partner saying, nobody says that to me. Nobody does, y'all. But in the past, and there have been times in my life where usually I'm my own worst enemy because I'm the one that always allows my schedule to be batted around and do other things. But just make sure that even if you have a full-time job somewhere, that you are scheduling in those things that bring you joy, so that when a partner comes to you and needs help with something or wants you to spend time, you're not feeling resentful. That's all I'm saying. So for me, that order looks like a schedule. You may need order in your house because maybe somebody walks in and it stresses you out because you need to clean, or you're orderly and I don't know. You get where I'm going with this. Just think about that. How can you protect the things you love to do in life so that your energy's not depleted? Okay, y'all, number 10 isn't fun, but I'm going to say it anyway. What relationships are no longer serving my growth, and how can I release them with grace? Ooh, that's a tough one. Such a hard one. And I don't say this lightly. I don't think you should just be casting people aside willy-nilly. That's not the point of that question. I have had to let go of some people in my life that it's painful. It's painful every time. I'm talking about people who you express your needs to, or they repeatedly cross your boundaries or repeatedly hurt you, and you know that they're just not going to change. We hope that they're going to change, but if they've proven to you multiple times that they basically just don't respect your word, it's time. It's time to let them go, y'all. It's time to cut that cord. I'm sorry. It's not fun. I'm sure you're thinking of somebody right now because I've done a lot of releasing in these last couple years. When I started gaining respect for myself, as I started setting boundaries with people, it's eye-opening. It's really eye-opening when you start to set boundaries with people. How many people will just trample right over those? And I think what that was is representative of a time in my life that I just didn't have boundaries. I didn't know better. You didn't know better, right? So of course, we've collected a lot of people along this path that are just not healthy either. And some of them may be willing to do the work, but some of them aren't. And I would say those people that are on your path with you that aren't willing to do the work are going to continue to pull you down. And if you want to go this way, you can't have this weight pulling you back. It's the best way I can describe it. So an episode on that would be another whole topic that we really could fill more than an hour on. But for right now, I would just say, just start thinking about that. And if you've identified somebody in your life that you know, start allowing that thought process to occur. You know, that life might be easier without them. I'm not saying you have to cut them loose today, but just allow your thoughts to start sort of looking at it from that angle. See what that might feel like. I know it sucks. Number 11, what illusions may I be holding on to, and how can I start to see things more clearly in my life? What does that look like for y'all? This was a tricky one for me. Gosh, several things come to mind. I think in my head, as far as work, I do have a grandiose illusion that this podcast is going to do really well. It's already growing like a weed, so I'm excited for that. I do think it's already successful in my eyes. But I would love for it to be, something that will monetize really well and that I can do for a living, or that will lead to other things that I can do for a living. I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy y'all, and I'm so grateful for y'all being here. So is that an illusion? I don't know if that's an illusion. I don't know. Anyway, in love, what does an illusion look like? Well, I think we know what that looks like, right? I think it looks like where one person's in love and the other one probably isn't. Or when one person sees the relationship go in a certain way and the other doesn't. And I think what that means is that y'all aren't talking. You're just not talking enough. You're not talking about the future. So I've had a situation come up very recently with someone that I'm dating, and I'm not going to go into details because it's private. But we've hit a point where... Thank God we're starting to finally talk about some things we should have talked about in the beginning. Because these things are important, y'all. What you want, where you see yourself headed. I will say we walked into this a little bit sticking our heads in the sand. And now we're paying the price for that just a little bit. Because we're finding that there's some things there that might align and might not align. So we're talking through that. It's beautiful though. Y'all, if you're brave enough and your partner's brave enough to talk through these things, it's so empowering because it lets you know, A, that you're safe and that you can have these conversations without somebody just going, screw you, I'm out of here. Somebody's got your back, right? And they really do want to talk through this and have these conversations in a loving way. It's just the most beautiful thing. It really is. And I will say this is one of the first people that I've ever been in this position with where it's been this kind, this gentle, this really I truly do want what's best for her. She truly does want what's best for me, and there's nobody's trying to lock down on the other person. It's really lovely, and it's foreign to me, y'all. This is all healthy and new, and I kind of love it. I kind of really love that, and it makes me realize, whether it works with her or not, we both said that it's really beautiful to know that such a relationship can exist, where there's this much trust, where there's this much open communication, where there's this much care for the other person, and how nice it is to feel safe with somebody. And we happen to get along and have so much in common and are compatible in so many ways. It's really cool. So if nothing else, we will see that this type of relationship exists for ourselves and for each other. But we have to talk through some big things, and that's where I think it's important not to get caught up in illusion, right? Am I going to think that she's going to magically turn into somebody who she's telling me she's not? No. So these choices aren't easy. I'll never make this mistake again. If it doesn't work, I'll make sure I have these conversations much sooner. Yeah. So I would say, if y'all are in that state, this is another spot where, again, we have to feel the fear and do it anyway and have these conversations and be bold and be brave. This work is not for the faint at heart. I'm going to keep saying that to y'all. I'm so proud of you if you're doing this, because nothing will make you feel more empowered and stronger as a human walking out into the world looking for your relationship than doing this work. But it ain't easy. My hat's off to you. Congratulations. It ain't easy. Number 12 is, where am I being too hard on myself and how can I soften my approach? So going through all this, I hope I didn't just beat y'all up, and I hope you're not now saying, well, God, I haven't done any of this, and God, my relationship must be toxic. That is not what my intention is for any of this. I'm just trying to empower you guys. I'm trying to make you think of some things and talk about some things and do some work within yourself to help you move forward and find that relationship you want that's going to love you and support you and be healthy. Because God knows I have taken a long time in life to get to this point where I feel like I can get back out there, where I'm not scared to go meet people and I'm not scared to go on dates. For a long time I was. Where are y'all being too hard on yourselves? What do you think? Do you have that little inner critic inside that stops you from speaking up because you're afraid that it's a stupid idea or it's something stupid to say? Do you stop yourself from saying loving things? Like, I will say that also was something that I used to do. I was so scared to be vulnerable and tell somebody how much I really cared about them, or when I missed them, or to text them and tell them that I missed them, because, there's all these rules out there about waiting 3 days to respond to somebody or whatever it is, No, I'm done with those games, and I'm so grateful to be dating someone who also is done with those games and appreciates. And she's actually said, I love that you text me whenever you feel like it. She goes, there's no shame in your game. If you're missing me, you tell me right away. And I think it's great. Because it's cute, and it makes that person feel good. Don't be afraid to speak up and tell somebody how you really feel about them if it's beautiful, because then you think you're letting your guard down too much, or you think you're giving them too much control. No. And if somebody uses that against you, not real sure they're your person. You know that. All right, y'all. I won't beat you up anymore today. If this resonated with you at all, will you please like and subscribe and share this podcast? This is how you help me in return for giving this information out. It really does make a difference, y'all. So thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate y'all. I love it when you comment. Please, please, please give me your thoughts below. Was there anything that resonated? Was there anything that you're like, Ashley, you sound like a nutter talking about that because you're wrong? Whatever it is, I'm open to your opinions and I want to hear them. So please give me a little feedback if you have a minute. And like I mentioned before, there is a whole TikTok community under your Southern Lesbian page that is vibrant and very chatty, and they are shopping for their wives in the comments, y'all. Some of that ain't real healthy either. I see what's going on out there. But it is fun and it is cute, and I love that there's a place where people can communicate. Now, as we move forward here on this YouTube channel, my plan is to build out the community page. So we should start to have a place to chat amongst yourselves here as well. And if y'all have thoughts to share, you can actually, I don't know how it works, y'all. Yeah, I just hear that it's coming and it's something's cool. So I'm trying to stay up with these things. I'll keep y'all posted as I know more, but I hope y'all have a fantastic week. Thank you again so much for being here. I'll see you next week. Ooh. Since Thanksgiving is coming, y'all, you can practice on your family at the table. And I'm going to give y'all one more hint real quick, too, before I let you go. This is something that my life coach taught me, and I think it's just a beautiful one. I know we just went through the elections in the states and everything, and some of y'all might not have been in the same room at the same table with your family since all that happened, and a lot of us are on different sides of the fence. If this stuff comes up, here's how you can protect yourself. I want you to remember, you do not need to be right. You do not want to get into an argument. You want to be kind. You want to keep the peace. You want to keep the love between you and your family, okay? I don't care if you don't respect them right now. I don't respect a lot of people either, but that's not where we are, and that's not how we change the world. If it comes up, if somebody triggers you, hey, I'm going to run to the restroom. I'll be back. Just go pee. I gotta pee. I gotta go walk the dog. I gotta make up an excuse to get yourself out of that situation and walk away for 5 minutes and then come back. Hopefully they'll be done talking about that crap by then, or they'll recognize that, oh, I made somebody uncomfortable and I didn't want to do that today. Just try it, y'all. Just try not to engage. Please don't allow yourselves to be triggered. It is not worth it. You are not going to change these people's opinions, and this is not how we're going to get stuff done. I'm just telling you. All right, sending y'all so much love and wishes for a beautiful Thanksgiving. I will have an episode out next Thursday, so just because it's Thanksgiving doesn't mean I won't be putting something out. Duck into a corner of the room and go listen to your Southern Lesbian if you need to. Y'all have a wonderful week and a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye y'all.
To California with a little bit of Carolina.